is the second round beginning for the December 2023 edition of Poetic License. Wait, gotta show up a sign. Poetic License. Back in the day when it was actually at a store and I had to have signs up, you know. And this is how high-tech I was back in a bookstore. But on this round I was going to read, I'm the editor for Newbies here of 2 literary magazines at Scars Publications. Scars.tv is the website. You heard in the first round a couple poems that I had in the most recent issue of CC&D magazine. I am going to share with you a couple poems that are in the most recent issue of the alternate magazine that I run called Down in the Dirt. This one is titled Wintering Over. Wintering Over, so I thought it was appropriate to have, you know, the coldest thing I could find with an Ecuadorian flag. Anyway, and there is somebody actually there. I'm like, there's actually somebody here on the front. But it just seemed appropriate for that time of the year, and based on accepted writing within this book, there was a piece in it here called Wintering Over. That's where we got the name for it for the issue. I'm going to read for you a couple. I'll read 2 poems and then 2 Twitter-length ones, maybe. These first 2, they haven't been anywhere. But this first one is titled Jails Almost Broke Me. Jails Almost Broke Me, and it was actually written on the 30th of October, which was Ezra Pound's birthday, so it was written because of that. Jails Almost Broke Me. I came from a small town, and I wanted to shape the world with conciseness and clarity. I wrote poetry. People said they enjoyed my work, but I wanted to affect more. So I wrote for publications, and I edited and published poets too, such as my compatriots like T.S. Eliot, James Joyce, Robert Frost, even Ernest Hemingway. I did more work, but it didn't mesh with the U.S. bureaucracy. So I moved away, and I was wrapped up in World War I and II until I thought the answers were that government should have control over our lives to try to make life better. So I embraced Benito Mussolini's fascism in the 30s and 40s. Then the Americans caught me in 45, charged me with treason, and their jails almost broke me. And they kept me in a mental prison. They kept me in a mental prison for over 12 years. But I say my existence has become a prison already. I may not have all the answers, but I will still look for them and write about them. With this, I may hopefully shape modern literature, so my writings last as long as literature itself. That was Jails Almost Broke Me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And on another page, this one's a weird one, and it's titled Xenophobic Sociopaths and Delusional Reclusives. That's really hard to say. Why don't I read that again? Xenophobic Sociopaths and Delusional Reclusives. They call them a recluse. They call them delusional. They call them a sociopath, as they see the murder of crows overhead, and they wish they could die. Or in their head, they wish they could kill those who took their life from them. All these outsiders look at them as if this recluse, this delusional sociopath was the real outsider. But how does this survivor act after the torture, rapes from friends, family molestation? Tell me how they open up. Tell me who they open up to after being so reclusive, without looking more delusional, sociopathic. So, from your comfy chair, you seem to have all the answers. So when you see this recluse, this delusional, this sociopath, you've got it all together. So please, tell this outsider what they need to hear. Short piece. Thank you. I feel weird doing that. But the other 2 pieces I was going to share with them are shorter ones. I'm going to show you the pictures from them. There are 2 pictures because when I would do periodic table poems, this is following somebody who wrote about calcium. So I'm going to share with you 2 poems about calcium. I might as well I showed you this guy. Might as well show it to you in Twitterverse periodic table poetry. Haha, I have my bookmarks. Haha, this one's for the first one. This, I'll show it to you in color and see if and I think they both relate to brains. No, brains in the ozone. This first one's about the brain, my sciencey one. It's titled Calcium, Voltage for the Brain. Neurologists just found certain brain cells use not just the usual sodium ions to fire like voltage for the brain, but precious calcium as well. Calcium is good for your bones, and dendritic calcium action potential may be the key to XOR brain activity, giving your brain just the right charge. Voltage for your brain. It's hard to see in this one, you guys. I'm trying to show them off, and then I try to show it in color because I put them on a little screen, and you know, you don't get it in color in the books, but they have them online for you guys, which is what I'm trying to do for you. One more though that is right on the next page in this book, and it is titled Calcium Can Be Good for the Ozone Too. I might as well show that to you. Let me get the page. Shoot. Haha, bookmarks. That's the cool thing about this one, because the books are big. But you can't see it here because it's really hard. They're clouds and they're so I'll try to show it to you from the screen so it's bigger as well. Calcium can be good for the ozone too. CO2 traps the sun's heat, warms our planet. Volcanic eruptions shoot dust into the upper atmosphere, drop the global temp. So why not shoot aerosols into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight away? Scopex speculates shooting calcium carbonate up high, for that will beat the heat. I know, you try to, yeah, thank you, it's a weird one, and it's hard to try to, but it's just got a bunch of things about clouds and calcium, because how do you do a picture to talk about the upper atmosphere and how to solve it, the calcium? It's not really easy to do, so you try to get, and so I just figured when I was doing these things and they're short enough, I'll make Instagram pics for them or whatnot. So those would be for my reading in that round, because maybe I'll do a little one a little